NC State got a bit of a scare last night.
Yeah.
Little mischief night scare for the Wolfpack night before Halloween. They beat Lees-McRae, which is a Division II school in Banner Elk, North Carolina, around that area, by 4 points last night in an exhibition basketball game. NC State, I'm going to say it again just so we're all on the same page. NC State, team that made it to the Final Four last year, the defending ACC men's basketball champions, beat Lees-McRae by 4 points last night in an exhibition basketball game. Now, that's a scare. I mean, it was tied with 3 minutes to go. It was a one-possession game in the final minute. It's a scare. Losing that game is something that everybody remembers. Something that really opens up eyeballs. Before we dive into the scare, the yikes of it all, the comments from Kevin Keatts after the game, that surprised me. Before we dive into that, let's give the other side to be completely fair. There is a big difference between losing this game and nearly losing this game. Okay? I mean, people, I was tweeting about it a little bit last night. People are reaching out. This reminds me of Syracuse when they lost to a Division II team back in 2000 whatever. And well, there's a difference there. Syracuse lost. NC State nearly lost. There's a difference. So it wasn't full catastrophe. Injuries to the roster hurt the Wolfpack, so much so that Kevin Keatts said he was playing combinations of players on the court that he hadn't used much or if at all this preseason.
Just kind of rolled 11 guys.
So that's going to be tough. Mike James out. It's going to be out for a little bit. One of their incoming transfers from Louisville. Kevin Keatts didn't use timeouts to stop the bleeding. Right? I'm giving the optimistic side here. If this were a regular season game, my guess is multiple times would have called the timeout, asked for a full, and used the entire full timeout to, let's say, motivate his players into playing better. But because it's an exhibition game, let's see what they do. Let's see if the pitcher can pitch his way out of it, right, without a pitcher's mound visit. Let's see. Let's let him play through. And then the last part of that side, the optimistic side for State is it was an exhibition. It's not a real game. Even if you lose, it's not on your record.
Doesn't count.
Doesn't count. Now the side that my brain went to first. We'll call this side yikes. NC State is once again starting all the way back at square one. All the way back. And what I mean by that is last year we saw it. They had to figure out how all these transfers fit and whose role is what and how do you play with DJ Burns, this big guy in the middle, and who's going to be the one taking the clutch shots and how are they going to figure it all out. And it felt like they built a house starting with like one shovel. They had to build their tools first. That's how long this build took, and they got it the last possible second. You would have hoped after that run to the Final Four, you wouldn't be starting back at square one again. But based on that exhibition game, square one, right? There wasn't a ton of carryover, and maybe that makes sense. I brought up Mike James, transfer, who's injured. Brandon Huntley-Hatfield, transfer, 8 points, 4 rebounds, and assist. Dontrez Styles, transfer, 9 points, 9 rebounds, and assist. Paul McNeil, freshman, 6 points, 3 rebounds, assist. Trey Parker, 7 points, 3 rebounds, assist. There were so many new faces out there that even when Michael O'Connell would flash and you go, oh, that guy, I know that guy. He'd dump it off to, I don't know who that guy is. They'd take a shot, rebound by Ben Middlebrooks. Oh, I know that guy. Outlets it to Paul McNeil. Who is that? There was so much new. And when there's so much new, there's a little build-up. There's a little carryover. Kevin Keatts, after the scrimmage, spoke to the media, and spin zone is how I describe this next comment. This is Kevin Keatts after a 4-point win over a Division II opponent in an exhibition game.
I think we can learn a lot from our secret scrimmage. We can also learn a lot from our last 20 minutes. Okay, I thought we did a really good job in our first 20 minutes. Second half, I started big guys against small guys, and we came out and we turned the ball over 3 straight times. It's a lot that we can learn from this. It's crazy as this sounds. I would much rather have this game than have a 40-point win because I don't get a chance to see guys be able to react and who's going to make free throws and who's going to be good at the end.
You'd rather have a close win over Lees-McRae than a blowout over Lees-McRae? By the way, Lees-McRae sounds like a country music singer. Just throwing that out there. Lees-McRae next up with Dirt Road. I don't know. Cold beer, blue jeans, whatever you want to call it. I disagree. I think if a coach wants to have a close game, there are ways they make it obvious. Michael O'Connell doesn't play almost 25 minutes in a game that you want to be close against a Division II opponent. There's ways to make sure you're going to have a close game that they didn't really do them. Right? The Dontrez Styles, the ones that come in with a little bit of hype, a little bit of talent that we're aware of, they don't get the opportunity to almost put up a double-double in a game you want to be close to Lees-McRae. You play those guys when you want to blow out Lees-McRae, and then if you end up in a close game, what you say in the postgame is, I'd rather have that than a blowout. There's another comment by Kevin Keatts after the game that perked my ears a little bit. This is Kevin Keatts on this scrimmage, meaning this exhibition, this scrimmage of this year, and the one that took place last year.
I reminded our guys this, and I'll remind you guys of this too. Last year, Mount Olive was 89-79, and we're ACC champs. So I played 11 guys. I didn't call one timeout until the end. I just wanted the guys to play through some different stuff. I could have stopped a couple runs, but I wanted our guys to figure it out, and then we would get better for it.
I agree with most of that. I've already said most of that, right? He didn't use the timeouts. He played unusual combinations. He wanted to see his guys work through it. I agree with that. I don't love, and I might even throw on the hate word, saying last year we also struggled in our exhibition game, or we didn't blow them out in our exhibition game against Mount Olive. Last year, what NC State did cannot be the blueprint. It's not repeatable. It's a once-in-a-generation style run. Don't expect the things that broke a certain way last year to break that way again this year. Last year, we struggled in our exhibition. Well, you struggled for a decent part of your regular season, too, and then you had this magical run. The magical run isn't something that you now go like, all right, I know how our seasons are going to go now. We're going to struggle through our exhibition game. We're going to be up and down, up and down, up and down during the regular season. And then, just like last year, we're going to go on a magical run. It's no. That would be as if the Washington Commanders from now on are just going, you know what we should do? We should be behind with 5 seconds on the clock and have Jaden Daniels scramble around for 12 seconds and chuck it up, and someone from the other team will tip it, and then Noah Brown will catch it in the back of the end zone and will win because I remind you that that's what happened last week. Every time they're down in the fourth quarter, well, this is what we kind of want to have happen.
Got them right where we want them.
This is where the Hail Mary comes, ready and Hail Mary time. That's kind of what NC State's season was last year. It was just stay alive long enough to complete the Hail Mary over the last month. You don't want to plan for that. You don't want to look around and go, same thing as last year. Well, that was bad. It was bad last year up until the run, up until the Hail Mary. You were 11th in the ACC going into the tournament. That's not acceptable unless you pull off the Hail Mary, and that's not going to happen again. So you got to be better than you were up until the run started.